checking the forecast, things looking crazy. A storm on the horizon, the pressure is low. Gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see. Prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots, we're making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. EMA, let's get this show on the road.
Let's kick this can, guys. Let's make this happen. My name is Ron Tyler. I'm the president of the Emergency Management Associates. We're on the air for you here today, 24/7 if need be. We've done it before, we'll do it again. We're on the air today for you from the Emergency Management Headquarters in the studios of EMA, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina, in the Area Command. We're here for you guys. Let's get this show on the road. Now, guys, we have some things to talk about. I want to first start off with what is going on worldwide, and then we'll narrow it down to the topic at hand for tonight, is the Cascadia seismic events and what is happening at the volcanoes in the Pacific Northwest region. Let's talk about this, guys. I think this is really important. Okay, I'm going to take down our EMA banner here. I'm going to take down our webcam for the time being. I'm going to show you earthquakes on the USGS map here. Let's get going here. Okay, now down here just south of the Kamchatka Peninsula of Russia, we have an earthquake. We have an earthquake, guys. What's going on here? I'm going to tell you what's going on, guys. Then here we have an earthquake. Okay, this earthquake is a moderate 4.4 earthquake. 4.4 earthquake, 51 miles deep. Further over here into the Aleutian Islands this morning, guys. Okay, right here. This is the largest 5.6 earthquake that we've had here in the Aleutian Island chain in a very long time. 5.6 large earthquake here. This is also 6.3 miles deep. 6.3 miles deep, just over 10 kilometers deep here. The 5.6 earthquake is a large earthquake here. Okay, this is 108 miles east of Atka, Alaska, which is the islands right here. Right here, Atka, Alaska. Notice we have a volcano right here. We have a volcano right here. It has not erupted for a long time, but it is rumbling. It is rumbling. And in this region, we have earthquakes. We've always had earthquakes here. Again, this is a 5.6 large earthquake, the original earthquake that happened here this morning. This is a 4.5 aftershock. This is a 4.3 aftershock. This is a 4.0 aftershock. One other further out here to the southeast, this is a 4.7, 70 miles south in Nikolsky, Alaska. Nikolsky, Alaska, right here. Again, you see two volcanoes here. Two volcanoes, actually 4 volcanoes right here. Volcanoes are strewn out all throughout the Aleutian Island chain here. Now, are these volcanoes going to erupt? Probably not for a while at least. We have no indications of them even having earthquakes right under them, but we have had earthquakes here in the past. Again, these volcanoes are not anywhere close to erupting here today. Okay? Over here further to the west here, this is a minus 0.7 microquake here. But guess what? Minus 0 numbers are typically above sea level. This is not above sea level at all. This is 0.7 microquake, 90 miles west of Atka, Alaska. Notice this is right next to a volcano right here. Right next to a volcano here. That means the magma is going in here underneath the volcano over here, and we're seeing an earthquake. We're seeing an earthquake here. Okay? Let's back out here. Okay? The next place we're going is northwest or northeast of Honshu, Japan here. Again, this is another aftershock here. Several months ago, we had a 7.4 earthquake over here. This is another aftershock. A 4.6 aftershock, 22 miles deep here. 22 miles deep off the Honshu, Japan island here. Not a big deal. This is far enough off the coast here, nobody felt this earthquake. Moderate earthquake 25 miles off the coast of Honshu, Japan here. Let's also zoom back out here. USGS is not showing us anything here in the Mariana Trench or over here between Kyoto, Japan and Taiwan here. Not showing us anything. That does not mean there are no earthquakes or some minor and small earthquakes over here. Over here in the Philippines, we have some minor earthquakes. We have some small earthquakes over here in the Philippines. USGS is not showing those. We go over here into Indonesia. There are 49 earthquakes here in Indonesia today. 49 of them, guys. Guess what? We have an earthquake over here in the Molucca Sea here. This is a very large 5.9 6.0 earthquake. 5.9 6.0 earthquake. This happened early this morning. This happens to be 27 miles deep here in the Molucca Sea. Okay, now there is an island here. This earthquake is 70 miles southeast of Itung, Indonesia. This happens to be northwest of this island here. Northwest of this island here. This looks like it's supposed to be east-southeast of Itung, Indonesia, which means there is an island here further to the northeast here. Actually, supposed to be northwest of an island here, called Baitung Island. I don't believe USGS knows what they're talking about. Actually, they do right here. This is Baitung, Indonesia right here. Okay? This is far enough off ashore here, from that island here. Nobody on that island felt this earthquake. Very strong earthquake there, guys. I'm calling it, they say it's a 5.9. It's a very strong earthquake here. It's closer to this island right here. Let's zoom in here. Let's take a look at this. Okay? Right here. I don't believe anybody lives on this island here at all. I don't see any buildings. I don't see any kind of housing or anything else here, but it doesn't mean nobody's here. Somebody could be here and we don't even know it. But this is closer to that earthquake. It's closer to that earthquake here. Okay? But this here was a very strong earthquake here. They have it labeled as a 5.9 earthquake, but guess what? We've had stronger earthquakes here in the past. This, I believe, also is a aftershock of another 7.4 earthquake hit here just about a month and a half ago. A month and a half ago here, guys. You might remember us talking about it. Okay? Now look here. USGS not showing any other earthquakes here. There are 64 earthquakes here in Indonesia today. 64. 64 on the European map. USGS is showing nothing here. Absolutely nothing. There's earthquakes over here in Burma area right here. 4.0, 4.2, 4.7 earthquakes here in Burma right here. We know for a fact it happened. Going over here into China. This is a large 5.1 earthquake here in Nagu, China. Nagu, China. Now, guys, they don't have any other earthquakes listed here in the Middle East or anywhere in Europe. That's false. As we've talked about before, Europe has a lot of earthquakes here. The Middle East also has quite a few earthquakes. Just because the agency's not listed here doesn't mean they didn't happen. USGS is saying there are 246 earthquakes worldwide. I'm going to differ with that. There are nearly 1,000 earthquakes worldwide. And I'm even going to say there's even more than that. Okay? Even over in the Imperial Valley in Southern California, between Los Angeles, San Diego, and the Imperial Valley in Southern California, we have 900 earthquakes right there every day, every doggone day. And they're trying to say there's only 246 earthquakes on the worldwide map. They don't even have a clue. Not a clue. Now let's go over here to Papua New Guinea. Here in Papua New Guinea, we have a 5.7 earthquake here, Lorengau, Papua New Guinea. I visited this earthquake right after it happened. Okay, this is southeast of Lorengau, Papua New Guinea. Let's zoom in here, guys. This is Lorengau, Papua New Guinea. This is far enough up ashore. I don't believe anyone even felt this over on Lorengau, Papua New Guinea. But here, this is somewhat closer to that earthquake. Probably about, I want to say, 30 miles off of this island right here. 30 miles off of this island right here. Let's zoom in here. Okay? Right up here, it has a town listed here. Yes, it's more like a village here, or several villages in this area here on the north side of the island. Over here on the western side of the island, the same thing is true over here. Okay? They've got a community school here. People in this area may have felt this earthquake. It's strong enough to be felt. It's strong enough to not just felt, but have possible damage here. Possible damage here. Okay? Again, look at this coastline here, guys. Look at this coastline. I don't see anybody living here along this coastline, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen or it hasn't happened. Let's look right here. We can't zoom in any closer here. There may be people who live in this area here. Okay? I don't see anybody living in this area at all. Nowhere. If there are people living here, there are very small villages living out here in the tropical forest here of New Guinea. Okay? We just don't see it. Okay? But again, this was a powerful earthquake. 5.7, very large earthquake here. Let's zoom out here. Okay? So we have a very strong 5.7 earthquake here. Right here is a 4.8 moderate earthquake here. 4.8 moderate earthquake here. Now, guys, this is somewhat near the coastline here. This is in the foothills of these mountains here. Yes, we have a town right there. Very large city here. They may have felt some of the shock waves from this moderate quake. They may have felt some shock waves from this quake. This is an urban area. The people here may or may not be used to earthquakes at all. They probably have not been fortified, their cities or their buildings or the houses or apartments even, from earthquakes. This is the third world country here. They may have felt this earthquake here. Over here further east right here, the same thing is true. Same thing is true. Small towns here, guys. Small towns here. Now, it looks like they have a small airport here as well. Looks like they have a small airport here. Looks large enough for a good-sized plane to land there. They may have felt this earthquake. It was a moderate earthquake here. Moderate earthquake here. Okay? But I think it was far enough away for these people not to have much damage at all here. But over here on this other side, it's a different story. A little bit different story here. Okay? Let's zoom out here. Then we go over here to the Solomon Islands here. This is another 5.4 earthquake here in the Solomon Islands. This is out in the Pacific Ocean. I don't believe anybody was affected by this earthquake, and the waters of the Pacific Ocean absorbed the shockwaves from this quake. Okay? Then, okay, we're not showing any earthquakes right here at all. There are earthquakes here. Just because USGS didn't show earthquakes, there are earthquakes here. I'm going to go down here to the northwest side of the North Island of New Zealand right here. Just offshore here. Just offshore here, guys. Okay? See where Wangari is here? I have friends that live here. I have friends that live there. I have friends on this island, okay? There's a 4.0 earthquake out here in the ocean, just offshore from New Zealand here. I'm going to show you the information on this earthquake. 4.0 earthquake right there. 4.03 earthquake right here, offshore from Auckland, New Zealand. Auckland, New Zealand here. 4.0 magnitude earthquake. Now, given that, all morning I heard earthquakes being had by the European agency. Okay. I have earthquake notifications on my device. I had at least 3 notifications of moderate 4.0, 4.4, 4.3 earthquakes here in New Zealand. This was the only 4.03 earthquake that was on the map. The only one. There are earthquakes here, but they're not telling us about it. Okay? Going over here to South America. It's very strange here, guys. I keep pointing this out here. USGS is showing 1 earthquake over here in northern Chile. Northern Chile, guys. This is in the top of the Andes Mountains here. 4.3 earthquake here. There are 26 earthquakes here in northern Chile. 26 of them. 26 of them, guys. I showed you this before. Just because USGS says there isn't anything happening, there are. Okay, I'm going to show you the map here. I'm going to bring up the European map here and show you what is going on here. It really perturbs me that our agency is not showing what's happening here. Really perturbs me. 26 earthquakes here in northern Chile, right there. 26 earthquakes in northern Chile right there. Guess what? Going down here to the south, Central Chile, 23 earthquakes there. And then we drop further to the south, there are 3 more. 3 more. Way down to the south here. Want to show you this. Right here. Los Lagos, Chile. 2.6 earthquake right there. 2.6 minor earthquake right there. Going up towards central Chile here. Going up towards central Chile here. Near Maule, Chile, Maule, Chile. 3.2 earthquake right there. 3.2 earthquake right there. Then going over into central Chile, 23 earthquakes right there. Incredible. Incredible. Then we go up here to the north. I believe this may be closer to 36 earthquakes here in northern Chile. I believe it's closer to 36. Okay? These are 3.8. There's a 2.5 here. There's a 3.8 right here. 3.8s are the upper side of small earthquakes. Upper side of small earthquakes. Here's a 4.3. 4.3 here in northern Chile. This is what I'm talking about, guys. This is exactly what I'm talking about. 4.3 earthquake right there. All kinds of earthquakes here. All kinds of earthquakes right here. And USGS doesn't want to talk about but just one earthquake. One earthquake. Okay? Over here to the northwest here, we have 2.6, 2.8, and another 3.7 small earthquake right there. They don't want to talk about this. Here's a 2.7. Then directly north of there is another 3.8 earthquake there. North of there, Parincoda, Chile, 2.9, 3.0 earthquake there. Tell me what's wrong with this picture. They're showing one earthquake when in all reality, there's close to 50 earthquakes here in Chile total. Close to 50 earthquakes here in Chile total. That's just here in Chile. That's only in Chile. Let's go over to central Peru. Let's open this map up to central Peru. Again, USGS not showing one earthquake. But on the European map, we have a 3.5 here near Huaca, Peru. Huaca, Peru. 3.5 small earthquake there. Going north, offshore from northern Ecuador. 3.6 earthquake there. 3.6 earthquake there. Again, they don't want to have us know about it. That's not acceptable. Not at all. Going over into central Colombia. Central Colombia right there. Again, all this week when I've showed you this map, we go back to Santander, Colombia. 3 earthquakes. A 3.3, 3.3, and a 2.8. 2.8, a 3.3 right there, and just north of it, another 3.3 right there. Heaven forbid we're told about it. Then we go northeast out here. Go out here to northeast here. Okay? Now we are over in Caravel, Venezuela. Caravel, Venezuela. 3.2 earthquake right there. Okay? And just northeast of there, this is a 3.2 earthquake right there. They're not talking about those either, are they? Not a thing. Heaven forbid. Okay? They're showing us one earthquake over here in Costa Rica here, near the Panama border. This is a 4.5 earthquake here. Costa Rica near the Panama border, 4.5 earthquake. Well, guess what? They're not showing those either. Just offshore from Panama, there's a 4.6 moderate earthquake here. 4.6 earthquake here. Okay? We can go north here. Look at all these earthquakes in the Panama region here. Looks like central and northern Panama here. Central and northern Panama. 3.0 just offshore. We go up here to the north. 2.6. Then we go east. Punta Arenas, Costa Rica. Punta Arenas, we have another 2.8 here. Let's zoom in here. I want you to see this. Okay, there's a 2.8, a 3.7, and another 4.5 earthquake. They show one moderate earthquake, but they don't show the other. 4.5 earthquake here in Costa Rica. 4.5 earthquakes can be deadly in this region. Deadly in this region, guys. There's a reason. People live here. Costa Rica is a backwoods country. Yes, in the main bigger cities, they're very much westernized. But out here in the country, a 4.5 earthquake can devastate the country. Can devastate the country. Devastate anybody that lives anywhere near it. And yes, up to the north, there are people who live up here. But again, nobody wants to address that, do they? Nobody. Nobody. That's pretty darn sad. That's pretty darn sad. Northern Costa Rica, we have a 2.5 earthquake here. 2.5 earthquake there. Then we go north up into Nicaragua. Nicaragua, guys. Here we have 6, 8, 9 earthquakes. 9 earthquakes over here in Nicaragua. Let's move this map down. Offshore, a 3.6 and a 3.36 here. 3.6 and 3.36 here. Then we go closer to shore here. 2.6 minor earthquake. We go at the shoreline. At the shoreline here. There's another 2.6 minor earthquake that nobody felt. Offshore, they're not going to feel them because they're out in the water. And the small earthquakes out in the water, the shock waves are absorbed by the water of the ocean. Over on land here, near Veracruz, Nicaragua. Here's a 1.63 tremor. Nobody felt that either. Going north here, on land, Las Mercedes, Leon, Nicaragua, 2.8 minor earthquake there. Let's go further to the south and west. Further to the south and west, we have a new 2.63 earthquake. Further to the west, we have a 2.96, 3.0, and a 2.43. 3.0 small quake that people felt because it was on land there. Then a 2.63 minor earthquake there. Okay. Then we go into El Salvador here. We go into El Salvador here. Now it comes to be very interesting here. Offshore here. Offshore, we have a 3.14 earthquake here. Going up here to the northeast, a 2.33 and a 1.96 tremor here. El Salvador. Usually these are 3.6 to 4.5 earthquakes here in El Salvador. They're not today. Not at all. One more earthquake over here on the eastern shore of El Salvador. 4.0 earthquake right there. You see San Pedro Beach there? That's where this earthquake is. Okay? 4.0 earthquake there. Now we go over into southern Mexico. Southern Mexico, guys. I want to show you this. Look at all these earthquakes here. We have about 30 earthquakes here in southern Mexico. For the first time in several weeks, we only have like 30 earthquakes here in southern Mexico. Yes, we have some 4.0 earthquakes here. We have some 3.5 earthquakes here. For example, this is the 3.5 earthquake right there. Going to the north, 3.4, 3.5. There's another 3.5 earthquake there. Further up here to the north, 3.2, 3.0, 3.4, and another 3.4 right there. Okay? Why am I showing you this? Because, guys, all these earthquakes migrate north. They migrate north and they're going into Southern California, northern Mexico and Southern California. Okay? 3.0 earthquake right there. 2.8 minor earthquake right there. Again, 3.0 earthquakes can be felt. Minor 2.0 to 2.9 cannot be felt unless some person is very, very sensitive. Okay? Over near Las Tunas, Guerrero, Mexico, we have a 3.1 earthquake right there. Okay? But again, USGS is not showing anything going on there. This is Cabrillo, I should say, Guerrero, Mexico. 3.2 earthquake there. Going northeast, 3.0 earthquake right there. There's a 3.0 earthquake right there. Going over here to the southeast, 3.6 and 3.5 earthquakes right there. Okay? We go over to the east, or up to the north, San Ignacio, Guerrero, Mexico, 3.0 earthquake right there. They're not showing that, are they? No, they're not showing one lousy earthquake here at all. Going up further to the north, 3.6, 3.6 and 3.6 earthquakes right there. Small earthquakes. Offshore here. Offshore. Zihuatanejo, 3.1. Offshore is another 3.6 earthquake. Okay? Just south of Puerto Vallarta. South of Puerto Vallarta, 4 earthquakes here. Going to the north, 3.3, 3.4, 3.4, and 3.5 earthquakes there. South of Puerto Vallarta. Okay? That's a first. We have no 4.0s or 4.5 earthquakes up to the north at all. We usually do. Down in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, the southern tip of Baja California right here. We have another tremor here, 1.7 tremor that nobody felt. Cabo San Lucas. I'm going to go north here. There's a reason I want to show you these earthquakes here. Down in the Baja, we have 2 small earthquakes right there. 2 small earthquakes. I want to go right there. Delta, Mexico. Delta, Mexico. We have a volcano right here. Cerro Prieto volcanoes right there. Cerro Prieto volcanoes right there to the north of these earthquakes. Look at all these earthquakes here, guys. Look at all those earthquakes here. Let me adjust the USGS map here. I want you to see what actually is going on here. right there. USGS is showing 2, 4, 6, 7 earthquakes here. Not true at all. There are 12 earthquakes here, south of Cerro Prieto Volcano. South of Cerro Prieto Volcano. Let me show you where Cerro Prieto Volcano is so you can understand what's going on here. This is Cerro Prieto Volcano right there. Remember this. Cerro Prieto Volcano has a great big huge bird carved in the summit of the volcano. Great big huge bird carved into the summit of the volcano. Okay? South of there, we have earthquakes. Why? Why are we having earthquakes here, guys? Can anybody tell me? You see holding ponds here. Why do we have holding ponds here, guys? This is a geothermal station. This is a geothermal station here, guys. What do you think is going on here? Men have dug into and carved tunnels into the upper magma chambers of the Cerro Prieto volcano to obtain steam. To obtain steam to generate electricity here for northern Mexico. To generate steam to power turbines in the turbine facilities here south of Cerro Prieto volcano. That's how they obtain electricity for northern Mexico. Now, I can't get close enough to show you the turbine facilities here with USGS map. The facility is right there. You can barely see it right there. There are approximately 16 turbines here. This is a closer up picture here. There are 16 turbines here. Along the roadways there, they have PVC pipe that takes the steam from the drill points, takes the steam over to the turbine facilities. The steam is then processed at the turbine facilities, pumped into the turbines there, and the steam presses the turbines, spins the turbines to generate electricity here in northern Mexico. That's really what's going on here. That is really what's going on here, guys. You can see the turbines right there. You can also see the electrical generation plant right there. You're probably not going to get that close on the USGS map because they don't want to show it to us. They flat don't want to show it to us. Then up here, this is the footprint, the drill point where men have drilled into the upper magma chambers of the volcano to obtain steam here, pull that steam into the turbine facilities for electricity. This is the drill points. The drill points here, guys. That's what they've done here. Okay? Most of you have never seen this before. I think I may have shown this on the program once or twice before. Yes, I've shown you the Cerro Prieto volcano here. There's a phoenix, a big phoenix bird here, carved into the caldera here at Cerro Prieto volcano. Okay? As I've explained here before, up here in the Imperial Valley here, men have drilled into the upper magma chambers of the Salton Butte volcano here to obtain steam to power turbines here all over the Imperial Valley to generate electricity for the Imperial Valley here. That's how they get the electricity here, is from the turbine facilities here. There used to be only 3 turbine facilities here just south of the volcano. There now are 9 different turbine facilities here in the Imperial Valley. They're not showing any earthquakes here in the Imperial Valley at all. Interesting. Very interesting. There are earthquakes here, I can guarantee you. Yesterday on our program, I showed you the seismic readout from Calipatria here. I showed you the computer readout that's called a seismogram. Comes directly off the seismograph computer that showed over 150 earthquakes every day. Every day this happens. I can show you a seismogram here every day, and the same thing is true. Anywhere from 75 to 150 earthquakes a day here at Calipatria. Every day. All the time. All the time. Okay? All through the Imperial Valley here. All through the Imperial Valley here. There are seismographs. There are seismographs down here. Holtville. Holtville right here has a seismograph. The seismograph here shows minor earthquakes, tremors, and microquakes. When they have larger 3.0 earthquakes, they show those as well. Incredible, huh? It really is. Over here in El Centro, they have a seismograph here. The public has no more access to the El Centro seismograph. Nonetheless, prior to the USGS and Caltech cutting our seismograph off, we had at least 9 3.0 and larger earthquakes here in El Centro. In El Centro. North of El Centro, there's a town called Imperial. A town of about 5,000 to 10,000 people called Imperial. They have a seismograph there where they've cut off the access to this seismograph as well. We had tremors. We had minor earthquakes. Yes, occasionally we'd have a 3.0 or several 3.0 earthquakes here in the town of Imperial. They cut that off as well. Sad day. Over here in Westmoreland, the same thing is true. They cut off our access from the Westmoreland seismograph before the end of last year. Here again, we were seeing tremors, minor earthquakes, and small earthquakes here in Westmoreland. And again, up here to the northeast, Calipatria here. Calipatria. 75 to 150 earthquakes every day. As I've stated before, here in Bombay Beach, up here in the central east side of the Salton Sea. Here in Bombay Beach, this is where the San Andreas Fault goes underneath the Salton Sea here. You see that red line here? That's the San Andreas Fault. Bombay Beach is where the San Andreas Fault goes underneath the Salton Sea here. Here at Bombay Beach, I showed you the seismograph here. I showed you the seismograph here that shows anywhere from 15 or more 3.0 to 4.5 earthquakes here at Bombay Beach. 3.0, 3.9 are small earthquakes. 4.0, 4.5 are moderate earthquakes, and these earthquakes hit here at Bombay Beach every day without fail. USGS not going to show that. They want you to think nothing happens here. Plenty of earthquakes happen here every day in the Imperial Valley. I want to say over 500 earthquakes a day here happen here in the Imperial Valley. 500. Going north into Los Angeles area, we have 400 earthquakes a day here in Los Angeles. That means between San Diego, Los Angeles, and the Imperial Valley here, we have 1,000 earthquakes here in Southern California every day. USGS is never going to show you that at all. Not going to do it. Heaven forbid. I want to go up here north of the Great Lakes here to Ontario, California. I'm sorry, not Ontario, California. Ontario, Canada. Ontario, Canada, guys. Guess what? The European map or the USGS map has been taken down. They've also taken it down off the USGS map here. They've taken it down off the European map as well. However, I've got a picture of it to show you. They can take it down, but that does not mean it didn't happen. Right up here, the Greater Sudbury, Ontario, Canada area. This is the Garrison mining facility here in Ontario, Canada. This is a 2.51 earthquake. 2.51 earthquake here at the Garrison Sudbury, Ontario, Canada mining facility. Okay? Now, let me enlarge this for you. Because guess what? I want to show you what's going on here. This did not happen in a quarry. This did not happen in the quarry. I believe they may have been mining coal near the Great Lakes here. We have these piles here. They show coal here piled up on the outskirts of the mine here. Okay? These are coal deposits here. Why did we have this earthquake here near the Greater Sudbury, Ontario, Canada mining facility? We may have had a mining chamber collapse here at the mining facility here in Canada. That's usually the case when we have an earthquake at a mining facility. One of the chambers at the mine may have collapsed. I went through everything I could find out on the internet. I have no verification of a mining collapse here. But as you can see, we have evidence of it on the European map. This happened yesterday evening at 5:22 p.m. 2.51 earthquake up here in Ontario, Canada at the Greater Sudbury, Ontario Garrison Mine facility here in Ontario, Canada. Okay, now let's go north here. Let's go north here into the Pacific Northwest right here. I'm going to show you what is going on here in Washington State. Washington State. Then I'm going to show you what is actually going on with seismograms from Washington State, from the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network, and from the U.S. Geological Survey. I'm going to show you seismogram computer readouts showing earthquakes in this area. Right here. The southern Puget Sound area right here. I shouldn't say southern, but central Puget Sound region right here. Guys, guess what? 1.6 tremor here. Port Ludlow, Washington. Port Ludlow, Washington. Going over here to the east. 0.8 microquake. North Sultan, Washington. 0.8 microquake here. May Creek, Washington. They're not showing any other activity up here except down to the south, northwest of Mount Rainier. Here we are seeing what they say is a 1.4 explosion here. 1.4 explosion here. Interesting enough, this is nearly a mile away from the quarry. This is over a mile away from the quarry here. Mile away from the quarry, this is a 1.4 tremor here. 1.4 tremor here, guys. Why do we show you this? Why do you think we show you this? Because, guys, when we have a tremor here, it does not necessarily make it a quarry blast or an explosion. Yes, it could be a spontaneous combustus carnivorous, an exploding tree, maybe a marmot living out here in the forest took out a tree, or maybe they are harvesting trees here in Washington State for wood. Yes, in some places they do that. Guys, this is not a mining explosion. This is a tremor out here. Tremor out here near Capucin, Washington. Near Capucin, Washington. 1.4 tremor here. Capucin, Washington. We've seen these explosions before out here. There just happens to be a lake right here. There happens to be Capucin Lake right here. This is not that far from the lake. I don't believe this was an explosion at all. Now, let's go over here further towards Mount Rainier here. West of Mount Rainier in the foothills, we have another supposedly 0.8 microquake here. That's all fun and good. Guess what? There are all kinds of microquakes here at Mount Rainier. But they're not telling us about anything else going on. There's probably 100 or more microquakes here. They show us one. Let's go further up here to the summit of Mount Rainier. The summit of Mount Rainier. Here we are seeing a 0.4 microquake here. That's interesting. 0.6 of a mile beneath the surface. 0.6 of a mile beneath the summit of Mount Rainier. In the magma chamber, guys. Inside the magma chamber of Mount Rainier. Right here, they're telling us about another 0.4 microquake here. Interesting. Very interesting. What do you really think is going on here at Mount Rainier? Not just microquakes, guys. Not just microquakes. I can prove it. I can prove it. They have nothing happening here at Mount St. Helens at all. They have no other earthquakes either here in Washington and Oregon at all. Nothing. Guess what, guys? There are plenty of earthquakes here. Plenty of them. Let's scroll through here and show you some earthquakes, okay? Let's scroll through here and show you some earthquakes here. That's why we're here today. Okay? Right here. Astoria, Oregon, Southern Oregon here. Right here last night. Last night here. Okay? This is just after 11:20 p.m. last night. 2.67 earthquake. 2.7 earthquake right here. Prior to that, you see some tremors here. Tremors. I wonder why. I wonder why. Yes, earthquakes hit here, guys. Earthquakes hit here all the time. Down below here on the same seismogram, you see thicker lines here. Why do we have thicker lines here? What's going on here beneath the surface of the Earth here in Oregon, Astoria, Oregon? We have magma coming off the Pacific plate, going through the ground here, going through the crust of the Earth, headed for the volcanoes here in Oregon. Yeah, guys, it's happening. The thicker the lines, the more magma going to the volcanoes. The lesser, thinner lines, less magma going towards the volcanoes here. At a volcano, the thicker the lines would show more magma going into the volcano. Thinner lines, less magma going into the volcano here. But in this case, this is a channel of magma headed for the volcanoes here. Astoria, Oregon. I'm not done. Now, how about Bethel, Washington? Bethel, Washington here. Look at the thicker lines and thinner lines here. Also look at the tiny vertical lines that you see here. The thicker lines here again show magma headed for the volcanoes here in Bethel, Washington. Why are we having these thin vertical lines here? Those are tremors happening because there's magma fracturing the rock in the tunnels here where the magma is headed for the volcanoes. These are tremors here. All kinds of tremors here. Now look at this, guys. Look at this. After 12 noon today, about 12:07, 12:08 today, for almost an hour, they're not showing us any activity here. They turned off the seismograph here. They turned off the seismograph here. Why? Why did they turn it off? Probably because there was more activity here. Probably because there was more magma activity here and more earthquakes here in Bethel, Washington than they want to admit to. Interesting to note. Unfortunately, this happens all the time. Let's go back down to Oregon, Coos Bay near the coastline. Near the coastline here. This is the top of the seismogram here. See the thicker lines here? There's a lot of magma coming off the Pacific plate here at Coos Bay, Oregon. Head for the volcanoes here. Then it calms down here. Also, these thicker lines show harmonics. Harmonics. The ground is vibrating because of all this magma going through the magma chambers here near Coos Bay, Oregon. Yeah. That's what's going on here. You guys are also seeing these thinner lines here, vertical lines. The vertical lines are the tremors and or earthquakes that are happening as a result of the magma here that's headed through the magma tunnels here, headed towards the volcanoes here. With this, more harmonic tremors this afternoon. More harmonic tremors this afternoon, more magma headed to the volcanoes here. Yeah. Coos Bay, Oregon here, guys. Coos Bay, Oregon here. Let's go over to Glacier Peak. Northwest Oregon Glacier Peak, this case. Right here. Last night. Last night, guys, this earthquake that you see here happened about 1:07 a.m. this morning. Glacier Peak. 2.6 minor earthquake. 2.6 minor earthquake. Before that, we may have seen some minor tremors here. Minor tremors. And even more tremors here early this morning. And later this afternoon as well here. Nothing but tremors. But guess what? I've seen this map happen before. And then later I find a real seismogram from Glacier Peak or any other volcanoes that shows more earthquakes here. I know for a fact what USGS and Pacific Northwest Seismic Network is doing here at Glacier Peak. Glacier Peak is a very famous volcano. Glacier Peak is also a very active volcano. Glacier Peak only has one seismograph that is monitoring the mountain because the environmentalists here in Washington State don't want their very, very sensitive marmots being affected by any humans that deliver seismographs here to the mountain. Would you rather see a seismograph that's detailing what's going on for the volcano than having some environmentalists tell you, we don't want you to see the information? Because our marmots might be harmed. They might get disturbed. The marmots might have their nerves jangled for a little while. Once a seismograph is in place, nobody's going to even bother the marmots at all. The only time the marmots might be agitated is if we have some bigger earthquakes here at Glacier Peak. 3 years ago, we were supposed to get at least 4 other seismographs here on Glacier Peak. They're still not here. And as a result, we have very limited information about Glacier Peak. 1, the agency doesn't want us to see it. And 2, the environmentalists don't want us to see anything else going on here at Glacier Peak. Might disturb the marmots. That's a true story. That's a true story. Now, before I go further, I want to go north here. I want to go north to Mount Baker. I want to show you what is going on the northernmost volcano just south of the Canadian border. Mount Baker here. Look what's happening here. Last night and this morning, yes, we see harmonic tremors going on. But you also see the silos here vibrating. You also see the silos here vibrating. Those are tremors and minor earthquakes here. Tremors and minor earthquakes are happening at Mount Baker. Mount Baker up here to the north, just south of the Canadian border, is a very active volcano. Very active volcano. You've been seeing harmonic tremors here for a long time. Look what we see here after 7 a.m. this morning. We see minor tremors and minor 2.4, 2.3 and 2.4 earthquakes happening here at Mount Baker this morning, just after 7 a.m. What happened here later? Guess what? We are still seeing tremors here happening at Mount Baker. These vertical lines to our tremors. We still see a lot of magma coming into Mount Baker here. Lots and lots of magma here. Harmonic tremors here as well, still. Now let's go over to the northern side of the volcano to Mount Shuksan. Shuksan is a ski resort here at Mount Baker. Look at this. Some of the exact telemetry happening at Shuksan, the ski resort, as at the summit of Mount Baker. We're still seeing the stylus vibrate here, tremors happening here at Mount Baker. We are still seeing harmonic tremors here as well. Mount Baker is vibrating here. A lot of the volcanoes around the Pacific Northwest are vibrating. Harmonic tremors here. Then what do we have happening here this morning? Right here. Right here. This is after 11:30 this morning. First off, we see tremors. Then we see 2.0 earthquakes, 2.3, 2.4 earthquakes, 2.5, 2.6 earthquakes. More tremors and more minor earthquakes here for about 4 minutes. For about 4 minutes here this morning. Mount Baker, guys. Mount Baker, Shuksan. And you see even more tremors here throughout this late morning, early afternoon here. Interesting. Mount Baker's moving, isn't it? Let me show you another seismograph here, or actually a seismogram coming from the main seismograph at Shuksan Ski Resort. This is a completely different seismogram reading here. Why? Because this is the HHN side. The seismograph at Shuksan Ski Resort here is a multi-channel seismograph. In this case, we are seeing not just vibrational details here, but we're seeing the stylus move because there's magma here. On this particular seismograph here, we're seeing magma coming into the volcano here. These wavy lines here are what they call VLF waves. VLF waves caused by magma coming into the volcano here. That's what's going on here. Aubrey's here in the chat saying she's checking in from home, but thought she'd check in with us before she heads out to go home. I have to catch a show and replay. I hope you can, Aubrey. Aubrey also sent me a message with more information about what's going on in Washington that I might share with you coming Monday or next Tuesday. Good information here about Washington also here. Aubrey, I want to say thank you for that. God bless you, Aubrey, in your travels. Be safe out there. Again, we are seeing VLF waves here caused by magma coming into the magma chamber here at Mount Baker's volcano. At Mount Baker's volcano here. Ongoing, guys. This is ongoing here. Ongoing. Look at this. This is late morning here. This is after 11:13, 11:14 this morning. Again, we're seeing some tremors. We're seeing some minor earthquakes. In this case, even a 2.6 or 2.6, 2.7 earthquake here. Then after that, we're seeing another 2.4 earthquake here. caused by magma coming into the magma chamber here. These wavy lines are VLF waves caused by the magma coming into the magma chamber here at Mount Baker. Now, in the past, we used to see these waves going even crazier. I hope we can see that again. But I believe the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network is not going to show them to us anymore. Why? Because they don't want to see exactly what's happening at these volcanoes. They don't show us what the VLF waves are doing. Because the more VLF waves we have, the more clusters of seismic waves we have, the more magma coming into the volcano, and the chance for earthquakes are very likely. Chance for higher magnitude earthquakes and number of earthquakes are also a lot larger. It's happening. This is only Mount Baker, and also just showed you Glacier Peak to the south. Let's take us down to Mount Rainier now. Let's go down to Mount Rainier. I want to take you to Mount Rainier, and first off, I'm going to show you what's going on the USGS seismogram, showing us Camp Muir. Look at all these earthquakes here. The top left-hand side of this seismogram starts off at just after 6:30 this morning. 6:30 yesterday evening. 6:30 yesterday evening. Yes, you see some tremors here. You see some minor earthquakes as well. After approximately 11:45 on the left-hand side, go over here to the right, which now means we're after midnight. After midnight here. That dark blue cluster there is a 2.7, 2.8 earthquake. 2.7, 2.8 earthquake. Notice this, that the seismogram is showing us a thicker line here, a thicker primary wave here. That primary wave lasts about 10 seconds. It shows us at least a 2.7 earthquake. The bottom here is cut off and the top is cut off as well. This may have been a large earthquake. And the lighter blue line above it probably was a large earthquake as well. 2.6, 2.7, maybe even 2.8 earthquake. Then we come down here after 03:15 this morning on the left-hand side here. You see two earthquakes and a plethora of magma between those two earthquakes. A lot of magma came in here, causing those earthquakes. Magma is coming into the magma chamber here at this volcano, fracturing rock inside the magma chamber here, causing earth movement, causing earthquakes. Magma coming in here fractures the rock inside the volcanic chamber, causing earth movement, which are earthquakes. That's what we're actually seeing here at Camp Muir. Guys, it's not the only thing. Look at this. 04 a.m. this morning. 04:25 this morning. 2.5, 2.6 earthquake again. Out to the left, we have a secondary quake, which is tremors. Maybe 20 seconds worth of tremors after that. Look what's going on here on the seismogram, guys. Look what's going on here on the seismogram. Plenty of tremors, plenty of minor earthquakes as well. Now, look at this big earthquake here. The primary wave lasts a full minute, 60 seconds. The primary wave here lasted 60 seconds. This earthquake happened after 8:15 this morning, approximately 8:16. They cut up the top and the bottom of this sequence here, which means this earthquake was larger than they are showing it to be. Why? Because they don't want to see how strong this earthquake really was. This was at least a 3.3 to 3.5 earthquake. This was at least a 3.3 to 3.5 earthquake here at Mount Rainier, Camp Muir. Camp Muir, guys. Camp Muir is on the southern side of the volcano near the summit. Camp Muir is near the summit on the south side, or on the north side of the volcano. North side of the volcano here. Again, we're showing a lot of tremors here and some minor earthquakes here. Late morning, early afternoon, we have a lot of activity, don't we? This is a ton of activity here. Camp Muir. Now, I want to go over to the southwest side of the volcano. Southwest side of Mount Rainier. This time I'm going over and show you Emerald Ridge. Mount Rainier, Emerald Ridge here. Let's go back to last night. At the top left-hand side, this particular side graph starts at 11:30 yesterday morning. 11:30 yesterday morning. Look at that. All kinds of tremors here, guys. All kinds of tremors. Then we drop down here to approximately 2:30 over on the left-hand side. It says 14:30 on the left-hand side. That's 2:30. We come over here to the right on that lighter blue line. That's a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. Minor earthquake right there. Caused by magma down inside Mount Rainier. Down inside Mount Rainier on the southwest side of Mount Rainier. This is Emerald Ridge seismogram. Let's continue here. Okay. Then again, between 7 p.m. last night, starting at just about 9:15 last night, you don't hardly see any activity. That's because between 7 p.m. and later this morning, they turned down the seismogram. They turned down the seismograph. The seismograph hardly shows anything going on here. Hardly shows anything going on. Now right here, still, this happened after, you see an earthquake happen here after 2:16 this morning. 2:16 this morning. This shows this earthquake to be at least a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. Again, they turned down the seismograph here because they don't want to account for anything happens after they leave. That means what happened here is they turned down the electrical conductivity here of the seismograph, which means this earthquake was larger than they are showing it to be. This earthquake overcame the electrical turn down of the seismograph to even give us this information here. This is probably a 3.0, 3.5 earthquake, at least. 3.0, 3.5 earthquake. Then we go out here further this morning, early this morning. Look what we're showing you here. 3.6, 3.7 earthquakes, two of them on the same line there this morning. sometime after 4, I want to say 4:40, 4:49 this morning, maybe 4:45, 4:49 this morning. 3.6, 3.7 earthquakes right there. What happens this morning after they come back? Later this morning, guess what we have? After 9 a.m. this morning on this blue line, dark blue line here. 9 a.m. this morning. About 9:06, we have another 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. The seismologist came back to work. After that, we see more 2.6, 2.7 earthquakes after that. 9:30 a.m. this morning. Unreal, huh? It takes the scientists to come back to work to see actual data. Not a joke, guys. Not a joke at all. Now, I want to take you back here to Camp Sherman. This time, Camp Sherman on the USGS map, right here. Look at this. They don't show anything at all at Camp Sherman on the seismograph at all. Nothing. No activity whatsoever. The lines don't get thicker. The lines don't get thinner. They're not showing any activity here at Camp Sherman at all. Or Camp Sherman at all. Interesting. USPS doesn't want to show us anything going on. Yet in past episodes of this program, we show you a seismogram here at Camp Sherman. All kinds of activity, just like we showed you at Camp Muir. Interesting. Let's go over the PNSN version of this same location here. Camp Sherman at the PNSN network. Look at this. 7:59 p.m. last night. Look what we have here. Harmonic tremors again. Harmonic tremors here at Camp Sherman here on the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network. What's the difference between the PNSN and the USGS? USGS is hiding the information. They're hiding the data. Look at this, guys. We're seeing all kinds of information here at Camp Sherman. They're not showing on the USGS map. Look this afternoon right here after 1 p.m. This is what is really going on here. The red line comes after the blue line here. The red line comes after the blue line. The blue line here is 1:30 in the afternoon. 1:30 in the afternoon. What are we seeing here? Yes, we are seeing harmonic tremors here. But I believe in all actuality, these tremors are not really tremors, but these are minor earthquake activity here. 2.6, 2.7 earthquakes happening here in tandem, one after the other right here, causing harmonic tremors here. That's one way to think about this activity at Mount Rainier. Interesting, isn't it? It really is. Now, I want to take you over to Mount St. Helens. Mount St. Helens, guys. September lobe is a seismograph sitting on top of the volcano here at Mount St. Helens. It's got spindly legs on it. That's why they call it a spider. The September lobe seismograph is called a spider on top of Mount St. Helens. Look what we're showing you here. Yes, we're showing you here a lot of tremor activity here. And yes, we are also having some minor earthquakes here. 2.4, 2.5 earthquakes here. 2.4, 2.4, 2.3 earthquakes here last night. On that blue line, that is 2030 over on the left-hand side, which is 8:30 on the left-hand side. Over here, this is about 8:50 p.m. last night. 2.3, 2.4 earthquake. After that, another tremor here. Then on this black line here, on this black line, now we're seeing 3:15 this morning. About 3:17 this morning, we have some more minor tremors here. Upwards of 1.8 tremors here. Interesting, isn't it? Later this morning, more tremors and minor earthquakes here. 2.4, 2.5 earthquakes here, as well as a lot of tremors here. Interesting. Look at late this afternoon, the same thing. More and more tremors caused by magma coming into the magma chamber. Right here, Mount St. Helens. Let's go over to the same seismogram, this time different channel. Different channel, guys. Now we're going to look at September lobe, BDF channel. September lobe BDF channel. Right here. Again, the BDF channel on the other seismograms is referred to as BHN channel. Here it is the BDF channel here on Mount St. Helens at September lobe seismograph. Yes, we are indeed seeing magma coming into the magma chamber here. But again, I believe the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network is suppressing the data. Because in several other episodes of this program before, at least once or twice a week, we would show you huge activity here of magma coming in the magma chamber of these volcanoes. Yet they're not showing what's going on here. They're suppressing the data here. Late morning in the afternoon here, look at this. The same thing. They are suppressing the data here at Mount St. Helens. Interesting note here. We have another location here called Barrett Spur to the north of Mount St. Helens. Barrett Spur is a separate location north of Mount St. Helens. The information we have about Barrett Spur, it's a separate volcano. Separate volcanic field from Mount St. Helens. Over the years, the lava here, they had a cone here. The cone and crater has been worn down by weathering, both rain and also glaciation. Glacier activity worn down the cone and crater here at Barrett Spur. What are we seeing here? Again, harmonic tremors here. Barrett Spur. Harmonic tremors here, Barrett Spur. Yes, Barrett Spur is a separate volcano. Separate volcano from Mount St. Helens. I've got more information, guys. Again, going north of Mount St. Helens itself is a place that's called Studebaker Ridge. Studebaker Ridge was a volcano in and of itself. It was and is a volcano in and of itself. Look here what happened last night. What are we seeing last night here? We're seeing a lot of tremors, building up to 2.0 earthquakes. Before it all was said and done last night, after about 8:15 this yesterday evening, we had a 2.7, 2.8 earthquake here. 2.7, 2.8 minor earthquake here. Studebaker Ridge here at Mount St. Helens. Just north of Mount St. Helens here. Okay? In order to see this kind of activity, we know for a fact that this is a volcano here. Scientists have often said it's a volcano here, but they don't usually show what's happening here. We have to wait and be subject to what they want to show us. When they show us, we need to activate and show what's going on. Studebaker Ridge here at Mount St. Helens is a volcano in and of itself. Okay? That's what's happening here. Not to be outdone, there's more information here as well. Let's go south here. Let's go down south to Northern Oregon. Northern Oregon here. Palmer Lift. Palmer Lift here at Mount Hood. Palmer Lift here at Mount Hood is a ski resort on the southern flank or the southern side of Mount Hood. It's halfway up Mount Hood. The seismic up here at Palmer Lift is halfway up the side of Mount Hood on the south side of the volcano. So we're going to see two separate readings, one from Palmer Lift and another one from Timberline, which is at the foot of the volcano on the southern side of the volcano. This is Palmer Lift, the ski resort. What are we seeing? Very tiny harmonic tremors here. Very tiny harmonic tremors. Early this morning, we get these tiny tremors here. Tiny, tiny tremors. And then what happens after this morning? Then all of a sudden the tremors get larger, don't they? Harmonic tremors here at Palmer Lift, Mount Hood. Palmer Lift, Mount Hood. Let's now go over to Timberline on the south side, southernmost side, on the lowest side of the volcano. Interesting to know. Let's show you what's going on here. Look at this, guys. Again, you're seeing tremors here at Mount Hood. Timberline. Timberline, guys, just after 8:30 last night. Tiny tremors here. Then we come down here after 9:45. Now we see a 2.7, 2.8 earthquake here. Interesting. 9:46, 9:47 earthquake here. Unreal. Then earlier this morning, we have more tremors here. We see a thicker line here. The thinner line is less magma. The thicker line is more magma. This is called magma pulse signals. Magma pulse signals. Thinner line, less magma, building into thicker lines and back down to thinner lines. Magma pulse signals here. Okay? Causing tremors. And yes, the tremors can also build up to minor earthquakes as well. This afternoon, late morning, early afternoon here. Look what's happening here. Again, we have seen tremors here, more and more tremors here. And then early afternoon, what do we see? 2.0 earthquake here. And then a 2.5, 2.6 earthquake after that. Interesting, isn't it? It really is. I want to take you now to Newberry Volcano. Newberry Volcano here. I'm going south now. I'm going south. This is Cinder Hill at Newberry Volcano. Cinder Hill, Newberry Volcano here. Harmonic tremors. More and more harmonic tremors here. Early this morning, guess what we're seeing? Guess what we're seeing here? The stylus here is vibrating. We're seeing some minor tremors here. Minor tremors here. Okay? Vertical lines here on these horizontal, on the vertical waves here. Harmonic tremors. We're seeing individual harmonic tremors here. Newberry Volcano is vibrating. Newberry Volcano is vibrating. Look what happens here early afternoon. All of a sudden, we're seeing earthquakes here. More than just tremors, we're seeing earthquakes. 2.0, 2.2 earthquakes here. Early afternoon. Newberry Volcano here. This is Cinder Hill Volcano here at Newberry. Okay. Then I want to show you Newberry Crater now. Newberry Crater. From last night to early this afternoon, last night, early this morning, we see harmonic tremors here again. That's all fine and good. What happens here early this morning? All of a sudden, we see some tremors here, don't we? These tiny tremors here. 1.3, 1.4 tremors here this morning. Then early afternoon, what happens? Suddenly, these tremors turn into minor earthquakes. They turn into minor earthquakes here at Newberry Crater. We have 1.9, 2.0 earthquakes, and the large earthquake here is 2.5, 2.6 earthquake here. Then back to 2.0, and back to total tremors here. Let's go south to Sisters Volcano now. I want to take you south to Sisters Volcano now. Guess what we're going to see? Guess what we're going to see here, guys? This is artifact. These boxes here are artifact, guys. We've never seen these boxes before as such a volcano. Occasionally we've seen them at Mount Baker. We've seen them at Moon Volcano, which they used to call Bachelors. Sometimes we've seen them at Newberry Volcano, but never as sisters. First time for everything is. Really is. This is artifact. It's crap. It's crap. Meaning the seismologists didn't want to see what's going on here. So they altered the seismograph to not show much of anything here. They altered the seismograph to not show much of anything here. Then when they came back to work this morning, all of a sudden they fix it. They fix it. Then we suddenly see some harmonic tremors and other tiny tremors, minor earthquakes happening here. Suddenly out of nowhere. Fancy that. Unreal. This is when you know what's actually going on. They're playing games with us. They're actually playing games with us. In some cases at Mount Baker, we've seen all those boxes or rectangles going all the way through the seismogram, morning, noon, or night, 24/7. This is the first time we've seen them here at such a volcano, but this time it's only the morning hours where it's happened. Late night, early morning hours when it's happened. Because the agency's too darn stupid to be able to identify exactly what's going on here. So instead, they show us lies, 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 and more lies here. Complete lies here. Such a volcano. Now, I tried to research what's going on at Crater Lake. They turned Crater Lake completely off. None of the seismograms are available at all. As I told you, on the northeast side of Crater Lake, we have the Fleetwood Cove seismograph there. They turned it off about November last year. On the southeast side, we had another one. They turned it off as well. Unreal. On the central side of Crater Lake, we have the bunkhouse seismograph. They basically turned it off today as well. It was not on before I came on the air. Wasn't on at all. They turned it off. We've seen this kind of stuff happen before. It's going to happen again and again and again all over the place. It's interesting to note. I showed you seismograms happening at the volcanoes that were harmonic tremors. Harmonic tremors at the volcanoes. How about Grays Harbor here? Northern Puget Sound region. Northern Puget Sound region. Here you are seeing tremors here. We see some tremors here. We're also seeing some 2.3, 2.4 earthquakes here as well last night. Last night here. Then we see harmonic tremors here at Grays Harbor. Then we see more tremors here early this morning and harmonic tremors this afternoon. Grays Harbor, guys. In the past year, Grays Harbor, we've had earthquakes all the time. Now they're showing us harmonic tremors, which I'm not sure what they should be showing us at all. because in the past year, Grace Harbor, we've had nothing but earthquakes. This time, harmonic tremors here. I don't know whether that's even possible here at Grace Harbor at all. Yes, there is magma headed for possibly Glacier Peak up here at Grace Harbor. It's hard to understand what's happening here because, again, they don't want to show us what's happening. They think we're too stupid to see what's going on here. Any questions here? Hurricane Heather says tornadoes, hurricane typhoons. It's high hurricane and typhoon season everywhere on both coasts and down in the Gulf of Mexico. It's going to ramp up from here on out. It's going to ramp up from here on out through November, guys. And we're going to start talking more about tornadoes as well. Okay? I wanted to limit this program to mostly earthquakes because that's what everybody wants to see. But quite honestly, tornadoes are going to devastate our communities. They've already destroyed some communities completely. They destroyed communities in Oklahoma, Illinois, Missouri, Indiana, and even Iowa. Completely destroyed communities. I pray that those people will be blessed, that they will have had some kind of insurance, that they will be able to rebuild their homes and successfully retire. Unreal. Those poor people in tornadoes' harm's way, in hurricanes' harm's way, already out in the Gulf of America and in the Atlantic Ocean, we're seeing signs that activity is ramping up for hurricanes. We're supposed to be seeing 18 named storms. 18 named storms. And I think some of those, about 5 to 7 of those, are going to be actually land-based hurricanes. They're going to hit land. They're going to hit land here. We've seen thunderstorms and tornadoes. We're going to see more of them. Last night I did not come on the air because we had our own share of thunderstorms. No, we did not have any tornadoes out where I live. But where Renee Steffi lives and I live, we had some severe thunderstorm warnings. I turned off all my equipment here so it would not get burnt out. So we could come on the air another day. Guys, I thank you for bearing with us. I gave you some information on a YouTube channel. If you have any questions why we are not coming on the air at all, go to our YouTube community channel and we'll leave you a message showing you what's going on here with our channel, why we're not coming on the channel. Okay? We're going to leave that on a community page with a regular post. Now, we're on the air right now. Before I leave the air tonight, I want to ask you guys all a favor. Apparently, YouTube didn't think that anybody left enough money in our super chats. I did not get paid for super chats in May. I have to make at least $100 in super chats in May, or I should say April 19th through May 18th to get paid money on May 21st, May 22nd. I did not get paid any money here in May at all. Guys, please help with that. If you don't want to leave a super chat, please go over to our PayPal locations. We have 2 of them here, scrolling across the bottom of your screen, where you can leave us donations to our channel to help keep this program on the air. We'd appreciate it. We have money coming in June, but not till June 21st. So please, guys, please, if you want to help keep this program on the air, Go to our PayPal here and send us donations here to our PayPal to keep this program on the air. It's crucial, guys. It's crucial. We have to pay $258 a month for 1 gig of bandwidth here to keep our program on the air. So please help us with that. Also, you can see our address, our postal address going across the bottom of your screen beneath our PayPal. Our postal address is 504 Bethel Road. Bethel Road, Bethel Road, Morganton, Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code here is 28655. You can send us letters, and you can also send us cards where you insert your cash or a check inside your card or letter and tell us in your letter or your card how you're doing with emergency preparedness for you and your family. And if you want to share it, have us share it with everybody on the air, we'll do that. We'd like to know what you're doing to prepare for emergencies and disasters in your communities where you live. Tell us how you're doing as a family, as people. We'd love to know about that. We'd love to be able to communicate with you guys and hear from you guys. So please do that for us. Inside your card or letter, you can insert a check or cash and send it to us. That happens. We'd appreciate that, guys. We'd really appreciate it. Okay? Like I said, so far this past month, we did not earn enough money for YouTube to pay us. So we did not get paid on the 21st or 22nd like we normally have done. So please help us, guys. Also, if you want to communicate with us, tell us what you're doing to prepare for emergencies and disasters, write to us on our email. Tell us the things you would like to see on our program. Send us your complaints as well. Send us your criticisms. We'd love to see that. Send us your positive comments about our program. Another thing that YouTube uses to access our channel to other people is they look at the number of people watching our program, number one. The length of time you're watching our program, that's a big one. If you're only here 5 or 6 minutes, they don't share this program with anybody else on the channel, on YouTube. They don't share this channel with anybody else. So please, guys, once you come to this channel, please stay here for a length of time, for as long as you possibly can. Hopefully at least 20 to 30 minutes, if not an hour. I'm trying to cut down the length of this program to an hour or less. I'm trying. I'm going to do that in the future. So please, guys, please watch this program. Stay on the programs for as long as you can, because YouTube, again, assesses the number of people watching our program. They also look at the amount of time you watch our program as well. One other thing that they use as an analytical factor is our likes, the number of thumbs up. So please, before you leave our program tonight, give us a thumbs up. The other thing is comments. Comments after our program is over. YouTube purposely allows comments to our videos to be had after the video is over. There's a comment section. Leave us positive comments, please. Please leave us positive comments in the comment section as well. We greatly appreciate it, guys. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. We love you guys. We love and honor you every day. Love and honor you every day. Now, guys, before we end this program today, I've been trying to leave you with a thought, because at the end of the day, all we've done is talk about earthquakes, tornadoes, volcanoes going off. I want to leave you with a positive thought, a scripture if possible. Today, I'm going into Matthew chapter 24, this time with verse 36 and 37. Here, we're talking about what Jesus Christ told us. Okay? Actually, I'm going over to verse 34 to start it off with. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all things should be fulfilled. All prophecies of the prophets from the Old Testament to the New Testament, this generation is not going to be passed until all the prophecies have been fulfilled. All the prophets that have ever been, their prophecies will be fulfilled. Okay? Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall never pass away. Again, this is Jesus Christ talking about our day today. He's telling us he is coming back. We're going to see a second coming of Jesus Christ very soon. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. In verse 37, but as the days of Noah, as in the days of Noah were, so also shall the coming of the Son of Man be. He's going to come quickly. He's going to come quickly. Nobody's going to understand when he's come, because all of a sudden he's going to just show up. He's going to judge heaven and earth and all things in it. We need to be prepared spiritually. We need to be prepared spiritually. I would also like to know whether you guys would like me to talk about being spiritually prepared for Christ's second coming. I want you to know right now I'm putting together a presentation on Christ's second coming and being spiritually prepared for that second coming. So guys, please give me comments whether you want me to do that presentation, because I think I may do it anyway. I'll give you a specific day it's going to happen, the time we're going to be on the air to talk about it, because I want to get as many people here to talk about it as we possibly can. I believe it's absolutely necessary. I believe it's absolutely necessary. Christ is coming home. He's coming back to this earth. We need to be prepared. Those of us that can be prepared will not fear. We're not going to fear. In chapter 24 of Matthew, he's talking about the parable of the fig tree. He also talked about the parable of the lamps with the oils, the 10 virgins with the lamps and the oil. We need to have our lamps quicked. We need to have oil in our lamps. We need to be physically and emotionally and spiritually prepared for Christ's second coming. We need to have that. This is absolutely necessary. If we want to see Jesus Christ when he comes back, we need to be spiritually and physically prepared for his second coming. Pray. Read your scriptures. Pray and read your scriptures, brothers and sisters. That's the biggest thing I can say. But I've got a whole presentation I'm going to give you about being spiritually prepared for Christ's second coming. May God bless you. May God be with you this day and always. May God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side, brothers and sisters. God be with you until we meet again. Have a good night. Have a good Friday. Take care, everybody. God bless. See you soon. Good night.
associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. We break down the complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard, So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better, bring you the most up-to-date information, no matter the weather. Emergency Management Associates is here for you now and forever, it's true. Keep watching, keep learning, because we truly appreciate all that you do. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We love you. See you here till Sunday afternoon, 12:30 for our Come Follow Me